Good morning. Hey, everybody. This is Ryan Hillard with Thrive Mortgage, NMLS 1226157. Back again this week. It's Friday and it's 10 o'clock, so you know that we're going to be here. We're going to be on the air on Facebook doing our weekly real estate discussions with some of the people that are just really getting after it in the market, which is always a lot of fun, hearing different stories, hearing how they're going about the market and changing, adapting some of the strategies that they're doing to be successful in the market, and really just like what, some of those things that what is the expectation of, that somebody out there that's a home buyer or a home seller. Hey, Sue, that somebody out there that's a home buyer or home seller, what they might expect in this market, because it still is really a crazy market, even though it's slowed down a little bit right now, and we'll talk about that shortly. Hey, Mealy, number one viewer right there, number two viewer right here. Me. So, yep. And so, without really further ado or me talking too much, let's get to know Matt Adams, who's my guest today. Matt is the managing broker of Worth Clark Realty, which is 100% commission brokerage. Headquartered out of St. Louis, right?
Right.
And so they've expanded into the Denver market more recently, within about the last year and a half or so, I think, right? And currently sitting with 27 agents, and unless you've grown more, and I don't know about. There you go. Each time I talk to them, each time we talk, I think there's a new agent or two that is growing. So the word is definitely getting out, and I mean, literally, we talked last week and it was 27. So there's been growth even since last week, which is great to see. But rather than me talking, I'll shut up. Why don't you tell us a little bit, just to start with, a little bit about yourself and, who you are, how you got into real estate, and let's see where it goes from there.
Yeah, for sure. So I've been in the real estate market since 2012 was when I got my license. And instantly joined one of the bigger brand real estate companies because I thought that's what I had to do, was join a big brand. Started in leasing, property management, did a lot with that, probably over 300 or so transactions just in leasing. And then met the founder of Worth Clark Realty down in St. Louis, Missouri. So was just really satisfied with everything that he had to offer, and I loved it. So I was like, yeah, I will definitely join you. So I've been with them since December of 2013. So this year it'll be coming up on 5 years now with the same brokerage, which is awesome. And then as of last January, I decided to relocate with them as they were expanding to our fourth market, and decided to start managing the brokerage and help other agents grow their business. So here I am.
What are the other four markets that you guys are in? So
we started in St. Louis, Missouri. Our main headquarters in St. Charles. We have over 250 agents just in that office right now. Yeah, it's been growing like crazy. When I started, we had probably 35 to 40 agents, and now we're over 250 just there. We opened up in Kansas City in 2014 or 15, probably closer to the end of 14, early 15. And then Southern Illinois, I helped open that market. Then we're in Chicago as well. So, and then Denver's our newest one.
Yeah. And so now, I said 27. How many agents do you guys have here?
We've got 28 now.
Okay, 28. So, yep. And you're from St. Louis?
I'm from the St. Louis area.
Okay. Yeah. So before we're going to start talking about Worth Clark and what that is as 100% commission brokerage, but one of the things that we don't get to talk about a lot on here is the leasing side. And you mentioned that kind of, you mentioned that in passing. I picked up on it, obviously, but tell us a little bit about more of like what's that side of the business look like?
Sure. So just starting before I even got my real estate license, I worked for a developer in downtown St. Louis. And I was a leasing manager for a luxury property with about 300 units. So I did the day-to-day tasks there, more of a retail setting, obviously, because you have an open door policy. People come in and kind of want to look at apartments. Sparked my interest once I met a real estate agent, and I ended up getting my license and quickly moved on to doing residential, so single-family rentals. So right now I work with a lot of investors, single-family property owners who, in this market, it's a little different, but if you couldn't sell your property, you wanted to lease it. In St. Louis, that was a big thing, which is really starting to change around now. But I work with investors who want to buy properties, and they don't want to deal with the rental side. They don't want to do the marketing screen the tenants, sign the lease, do the move-in, and all of that. So
So were
I
you
help
working
them
as a
with
property manager?
We
Or
were.
you're really just helping them lease the property and then you take a like service the or subcontract the property management out to someone else?
Right. So from 2013 up until earlier this year, we did a lot of property management. We had 1,300 units that we ended up partnering with a different company to do the property management side on now, so we could focus on the brokerage growth, and then we could still do the leasing side because we knew how to market properties. You market a rental just like you do when you sell a home. So you got to get professional photography. You've got to be on top of your game. You have to respond to the phone calls that people give to you. So
Does that, with that background, does that give you, or do you feel like it gives you a little bit of a competitive advantage in working with investors of being like if someone, so we did an open house together a week or two ago, right? And there was a woman that came in and she wants to be a cash buyer of, she said, maybe 3 to 4 different real estate properties as investment properties. And so as you're having a conversation with someone like her, does that give you a competitive advantage in being able to say, I really know this. I not only know, the buying and selling of real estate, but also the leasing. And this is why you should be looking at this property because this is about the rent that you could be able to get.
Oh, 100%. I would say my leasing, experiences gave me a big advantage because I've done over 400 transactions, which means I've been in front of 400 different people already, mainly on the tenant side, which also turn into buyers. So I know what they look for in and out. So when I go through and help an investor, I can tell them what a property would essentially rent for, how fast I think I could rent it, what they need to do to get it ready, and boom, there it is.
Perfect.
So
yeah. And I think that's hey Lisa, and I think that's something that not a lot of people have that in their belt.
It takes a lot of grit and patience with tenants. So
doesn't real estate in general take a lot of grit and patience?
Yeah, it does. But if you start in the leasing side and you learn the littlest things that could be a big issue for somebody else, then you know how to overcome that.
Yeah. All right. So let's talk about Worth Clark a little bit. And so Worth Clark is, like you said, it's a 100% commission brokerage, right? And you now have 28 agents working at the office here in Denver, which is, that's great. From the year and a half or so that you've been here?
We brought on our first 2 as a team last April.
Yep.
So they came over and we've just been growing since then.
Okay. So what should we tell us about Worth Clark? What's the model look like? How's it set up? How's it different from maybe some other brokerages? And talk about that a little bit.
Yeah. So Worth Clark is a 100% commission brokerage. So it's a great platform for agents who want to kind of plug and play. They up and running in the business. You could be a newer agent, or you can have your license for 20 plus years. We have some agents that do that. So our broker split is 100%. So no matter what happens with inside your business, you earn 100% of that commission that you're charging the client. So you have that complete flexibility. If you need to help somebody out on the selling side to end up with the net they need, or on the buying side to give them a commission rebate to kind of help them out, you have the complete flexibility to do that. You don't have to ask the managing broker if you can or cannot. We just take a $395 transaction fee per transaction, and that even caps out between $8,000 and $9,800 per year. So if you're pushing 25 or more transactions and you want to cap out at $8,000 per year, you could do that at the beginning of the year, and that's the max you pay the brokerage. Other than that, you earn 100%.
And so just to be clear, on this setup, on this style, is 100% commission broker. It's not like a Redfin or something. It's not a flat fee brokerage.
Definitely not a flat fee brokerage. So it's not something open to the public eye where we're a discount brokerage. We're a discount to the agents that we have. So you can take those funds and apply them to lead generation or client appreciation or pretty much anything you want to do to put back into your business. So if you're paying a large percentage, 20 to 40% back to a managing broker now, we still give you that full support. So you can call, text, email us.
Right.
We have a full support team back in our corporate office. Even does auditing.
Well, and that's one of the things I was going to mention next is that a lot of people are probably thinking that, and I I don't know, so you can answer this, but that there may be less support or more limited support.
There is kind of that stigma around, if you earn 100%, you're not getting the full support that you would with your, with your traditional style brokerage. Well, I think that's a lie because my agents can vouch, if anybody's on here, that I respond pretty quick with responses. I give them a more customized approach to different things versus, go look on YouTube for this or go read this training blog. I will sit down and help a new agent write a new contract. Just did that 2 weeks ago. Helped one of my new agents write a new contract. So I help review the contracts with them if they have questions before submitting the offer, or kind of give them the best strategy when coming up with pricing for a first-time home buyer. Things.
And then even on the back end though, like in the internal support side, like so you had mentioned to me when we were talking offline about what was it, like the automated transaction coordinator?
Oh yeah, so we have an online transaction management system through a company called Back Agent, which I think is my favorite tool with the company.
Yeah.
When I learned that we had this and I could plug in all my documents and know exactly what I needed on each transaction, that was a lifesaver.
Yeah.
Even coming out to Colorado, I had trouble locating every single document that was needed for every transaction. Ended up finding it, and I was able to plug it into our online transaction management system. So now everybody that does a transaction can see what they need.
Yeah, that's pretty nice.
And with that, we have a way to track all expenses. So if you've got 123 Main Street, you can put all your marketing expenses, your mileage, everything in there, and print out a report at the end of each year that you know exactly what you have. So
so then who's the agent that's going to be attracted to this model, or who are the agents that have been attracted to this model, right?
Right. I think everybody should be attracted to one. Earning 100%.
That's not a biased comment.
No, not at all. Not at all. I don't even have that shirt on. Anybody who is an agent who wants to kind of run their own business, you don't need the handheld support where you want to be in the office all the time. We're definitely not that style brokerage. But we are here to help you whenever you need it. So if you're brand new in the business, we have agents who just got licensed and interviewed, the big box real estate companies, and also interviewed with me, and they chose to come over with me. Yeah. But we also have agents who have been in the industry for 20 plus years. Nellie Harris, if you're on here, can vouch for that. But she was with a smaller brokerage, kind of like Worth Clark, and decided to join me so I can show her, different tech tools and things that she didn't know.
So is it a very tech forward company?
100%. So just like the commission that you earn.
Well played. Okay, so beyond that, you're a managing broker.
Yep.
What does a managing broker do?
Lots of psychology. So people call me with really off-the-wall questions and scenarios where I do the research for them. So that's what a managing broker does. It's a support role. So I'm out there inviting new agents to join our brokerage, kind of explaining advertising, branding, Worth Clark 100%. But when our agents call and they have, a random scenario, I'm the one who does all the research to kind of find out the best route to go or the answer to go. And I even have support from myself back in our corporate office. So our president, CEO is, my direct communication. So he's been in the business for quite a while as well, and that's who I use for my support. So.
Okay. So you're still, just to be clear, you're still a producing real estate agent.
Yes.
Right? And then you do the recruiting, so to speak, and then you also do the managing.
Right.
Right. So how do you organize your day?
Sure. So I would say I prioritize the tasks that come along that day, because with managing agents and transactions, anything could pop up at any time. So structuring that is kind of So our managing brokers are available 9 a.m. to 8 p.m. every day. So you can call, text, email. If we can get you right away, we do. If not, I usually send a quick text back. So hey, I'll call you when I can. But the biggest priority is responding to the agents and just making sure that if they need something that's emergency type basis, then I can get to them right away. So that's pretty much it.
So again, I can keep going back to this, but you came into the market relatively recent. what are some of the challenges of coming in, entering a new market? Because Denver's a new city for you. It's
Brand
not
new.
like and they could have taken someone that is already here in the market and said, hey, we want you. You already know the market, to come and grow this company, grow this brand in the market. But instead, they're putting their faith in you to enter a new market and grow the brand. So, what are the challenges that you're facing, and what are some of the things that you're doing, like the tools and strategies to grow your own business and the brand's business?
Sure. So for just touching base on growing the brand's businesses, I've been with this brand for about 5 years now, and I've watched them from having 30 to 40 real estate agents to what we have now, and kind of helped implement ideas and new technology just to kind of help everybody grow. So that's why they chose me. And one, I had a big interest in Colorado.
Yeah.
So when I heard that we wanted to open in Colorado, I was like,
Those are probably a pretty
I'm gonna go there.
a lot of hands went up for that one, I'm sure.
Yeah. No, actually, I don't think there was very many hands up because it was really secret, and I was the first to know. And here I am.
Cool.
So that's why I picked this market. And you asked why.
So just how are you going about entering the market and growing your own business and the brand in the market?
Oh yeah, so growing the brand in the market, that's always the biggest challenge, is brand awareness. So like I tell everybody, even being new in the business, is just, you have to make those connections to kind of earn those opportunities. So just go out and talk about it to anybody and everybody.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're in a coffee shop or you're at Target or wherever,
Right.
Spark up a conversation about something like, where do you live, or whichever, and you can kind of go off there. How do you like your neighborhood?
Mm-hmm.
So just little different things to kind of go into the real estate realm without directly trying to poach somebody, I would say.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's just kind of like 101 for any of us, right? It's just
Networking.
the less time that we're, for sitting in Starbucks line and we're like, whatever, looking on our phone, you put it down and you have a conversation with someone. Chances are,
it's easier than you think. It's scary, just like doing live videos. For some people are like, oh no, I would never do a live video because people can see me and I'm going to make a mistake. But that's what you guys love. So
yeah, well, hopefully, Big T, what's going on? Hopefully, there's enough value and content in the live videos and what we're talking about for people to see. But so as that's for the brand, but what are you doing specifically for yourself to grow your own business in the market? Or maybe put a different way, what advice would you give to someone who's going to be new to real estate? They're thinking about real estate as a career. How do they go about getting out there? I mean, it's obviously more than just having a couple conversations with people in line at Starbucks. Yeah,
so I would say the biggest thing is networking. So just getting out there and connecting with whoever you can. Mm-hmm. Mainly, and this is something that I see that a lot of agents miss, they look at, how do we do lead generation? Well, you have Facebook, which is like the biggest lead generation tool that's free right now, because you have so many friends on there. I mean, if you are from, let's say, Denver, that should be your biggest target, is reaching out to everybody that you know already, and the brand awareness, making sure that they know that you're in real estate and you wouldn't be their go-to for any advice that they need or their friends or family need. Mm-hmm. That's a good way to start if you have no idea where to go from. You're like, okay, I just got my license, now what do I do? Yeah. Well, first you join us, and then you do the Facebook thing. But you can also do open houses. So let's just say a way that I do is somebody reduces a price on a house on a listing that maybe been on the market for 30 plus days. I will reach out to the agent and be like, hey, do you need somebody to kind of host an open house and get new traction for you? That's something that me and Ryan have done twice now, and we've generated between 8 and 15 new people just come through and see that house.
Yeah, have a handful of reasonable leads. Not all of them might be ready. I've read, I think it was in NAR, that something like less than 1% of people actually buy at an open house. But I mean, people do open houses for two reasons. One is to market the property, and two is to get buyers. So, I think that it's really an overlooked strategy, and people, I'm going off on my own tangent. And full disclosure, I'm doing an open house class at Chicago Title in November, of just like, what are the strategies? That's right. What are the strategies of how to go about doing an open house what I see as correctly, because I love them, and it's a way that I'm building my own database of clients with. And so I think there's things that I see that I think are just hugely missed opportunities. And I'm glad that you said that, because I think that, if I today went to be a real estate agent, doing every open house possible is the number one thing that I would do to try and build my business.
Yeah, no, exactly. And Ryan's great at open houses, guys. So you need a good lender to partner with. Here it is. There's some other markets that I've mentioned and I've partnered with a lender like Ryan to do open houses. So like, your lender goes to every open house, and like, we partner, and it works out best to kind of provide the best experience for that consumer, which is what you want to do. If they see a great experience, they're going to want to use you and work with you in the future. Even if they don't like that house, you have to, you ask questions to kind of get to where you need to be.
So what should, the market is a little bit shifting right now, or I think there's been a lot of commentary on feeling the market shift. What have you been seeing, or what have you been experiencing, not only from yourself, but the feedback that you're getting from 28 agents that work with you at Worth Clark?
Sure. So, there's a lot of price reductions happening at this time of year. If it's not in a super hot neighborhood where everybody wants to be right now, I've seen prices drop, $10,000 to $20,000 to $30,000 on a listing, which is a lot of money. There's different ways to strategize that and kind of turn it around for both a buyer and an agent. So, yeah, it's definitely cooling off this time of year. But I tell everybody, if you're looking to buy and you're not pressured for time, and let's just say the best time for you to buy is when it's right for you.
Yep.
But if you wait until this time of year when you see something drop in price, maybe they can go down even more to kind of fit.
Right.
That $500,000 house and your budget was $475,000. Well, now it's under. Well, now you got the house that you wanted for quite a bit less than your budget.
And just adding on to that, one of the things that we do is a cost of waiting analysis. So, we can look at it and make some very conservative assumptions to say, okay, I know that you've identified in your mind that 6 months is the right time for you to buy, but, with conservative assumptions on interest rates and appreciation, this is the extra cost. It might be an additional $10,000. So now let's have a conversation of, why is it that you're saying that it's not until spring? And if it is for a real reason, again, we're not going to scare someone into buying right now. But if it is for a reason, like, okay, maybe we're getting married, maybe we have all these things lined up, we're going on vacation, great. But if it's just, well, I guess we don't really need to, it just seems like it just kind of feels like it. Okay, now let's have that conversation of, what if we get started? What are the different opportunities that present themselves right now in maybe a less competitive time of the year that presents more opportunity for you as a buyer?
Yep.
Yeah. So I think that cost of waiting analysis has been really good to help get some people off the fences. Let's talk about the buyer experience for a second. Like, what should buyers or sellers expect, if they're working with you?
Well, a big attribute about myself and how I like to push is the word transparency. I like to be extremely transparent about the whole process and what it looks like. So before we even go out and look at houses, or before we list your house for sale, I want you to know the timeline of how that's going to look. And our agents have pamphlets and just sell a listing presentation guide and everything to show you what that process looks like, which I think transparency is missing in real estate. And I'm trying to strive to push for that, so everybody knows exactly what's going on.
Yes, go ahead.
With me, you won't say like, oh, you didn't tell me that, or I didn't know about that. Trust me, you will know everything that's going to happen. Different scenarios that might pop up. Obviously, we're not going to know every single thing that's going to be popping up in a transaction.
Yeah.
But we're going to work through it together. So that's the way I am.
Okay.
Very transparent.
Perfect. And transparency is, one of the biggest things, right? Transparency, communication, and providing expectations. And I think if you can do that, you're gonna give a really great experience to whoever it is. Do you have a favorite part of your job?
I like a lot of it. My favorite part, I would say, is helping. Well, usually when I first take somebody out to look at houses, I tell them it's just kind of a test run. I want to see if you like what I've picked out. I know, Zillow and Realtor.com and all those, they give everybody the tool to kind of see what they do their window shopping before they even get to the window.
Yep.
It's on their phone, it's on their computer. So we go out, we do a test run, see what they like, and then after that time, I know exactly what you're going to be looking for. So I can kind of see it in their eye when they this is the house.
Yeah.
I've helped so many first-time home buyers do that, and it's awesome. Just that feeling. It's like, oh, it just kind of gives you the chills. Like, yes, this is why I do this.
Yeah, that's awesome. Do you work primarily with first-time home buyers?
I love working with first-time home buyers because I like explaining the process up front. So when you go buy that second house, you know exactly how it should go.
Yeah.
So very transparent.
Yeah. Well, somebody said, and it might have been Anna, that I know Anna had to hop off, Anna Centron at Liv Sotheby's. I think it was her, that told me one time, she's like, everybody's a first-time home buyer. Like, even if you're buying your third home, you're still a first-time home buyer you're going through the process because, someone that might have bought 5 years ago, well, it's a little bit different now than it was in 2013. And so there's different expectations, right? Whether it's just interest rates, the cost of a home, what our lending options are, what the inventory in the market looks like. It's all different. So we always have to continuously reset those expectations for that purpose. And I thought that was a really good takeaway and good advice.
I think that is, and also you're still a first-time home buyer with that agent if you're not using the first agent use it, again.
Yeah.
Every agent can do things differently, which I could disclose that transparency and just being out there, so you know what to expect the second time around and the third time around.
Yep.
So,
do you have any good success stories that you want to share?
I'm trying to. I don't know. I've had so many good success stories, so I don't know exactly how to pinpoint certain ones. But I'm very good at negotiating. So. Let's just say earlier this year, I helped one of my really good friends buy her dream home, which was a beautiful 3-story home. We ended up getting it for a little over $100,000 less than asking price.
Wow.
It was priced really high, and we know how to hold firm on negotiations. Yeah. And she's thrilled. They'll be there forever.
I'll bet.
So
cool. Well, let's wrap up. But how can people reach you? If there's an agent that wants to talk more to you about Worth Clark and what that looks like, or even just someone else that's out there that maybe wants to talk about renting and or buying or selling,
anything involved with real estate,
for
sure. So you can click my name in that top link up there if you want and add me as a friend. Again, transparent. So the way you see me now is how I act with everybody, and I strive for that.
Yep.
So you can add me on Facebook. I add pretty much everybody to my Facebook that's out there, and that's the best way to get a hold of me.
Oh, one thing that we didn't talk about that we probably should, that I saw recently on Facebook, is that you decided, and maybe you can do this because, well, you can't do it only because you're 100% commission brokerage, but you're giving, is it 3% or 30%?
No. So I recently have started volunteering with an animal shelter, and which is another good way to, get new business is as a new agent or even an experienced agent. You want new people.
Well, you're just giving back.
You got to find that little niche market that works for you. Yeah. Like you could try to do everything in real estate, but let's just say if you're really passionate about helping animals, animal shelters like I am, well, I've decided that anybody who wants to use me, I plan to give around $10,000 per year, which for here it's 30% of whatever real estate commission income that I earn goes right back to animal shelter.
Yeah.
So, and I also will sponsor the buyer or seller back on that too. So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's great. I mean, and so do you have a lot of animals at your home?
I don't have a lot, but I have a ginger cat named Joey, and I have a beagle named Penny, and then I'm quite obsessed with Boston Terriers. So if anybody has a Boston, we probably should work together and hang out. So I have a Boston. Her name is Boston. So
how
a little rogue there.
Yeah.
Decided to do a random name.
Like Chris Utrip was on. Chris is a friend of mine. He's a chiropractor. He has a couple offices. Actually, he's from Missouri as well, and he and his partner, also Chris, it's like a zoo of dogs. I mean, it's great, but you watch.
It's a lot of work.
It's a zoo.
It's a lot of work. So I'd rather go to the animal shelter and help out, like cleaning or whichever, and it works out a whole lot better.
Yeah,
So,
and we're big believers in the adopt, don't shop,
Yep.
philosophy as well.
yep,
with,
my Boston was
all our
adopted,
pets.
so from a rescue.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Awesome. Again, we'll put all of Matt's information in the notes, in the comments. If there's anything that we can answer, definitely reach out. We'll follow up. And don't be afraid to reach out to Matt. He's very, very responsive. We'll get back with you quickly. So thanks for being here. And, we'll look forward to being back next Friday.
Sounds
Have
good.
a great weekend, everybody.
See you later.